lovies, this is Love from Level Up Consulting Firm, and today we're going to be discussing as a topic, don't suffer in silence. Now, when you go through things, you are going to see who is in your corner, who your support system is, and you're also going to see who doesn't like you, who doesn't support you, and who you need to get from around you. And that's what adversity does. It teaches you lessons about the people you have in your life, the decisions you make, and what you need to do in the future to prevent certain things from happening. So from a business perspective, I'm going to give you a few tips on what you can do. And I'm also going to share a few personal stories with you all so you can know some things that I have been through as well, because I am a tried and true advocate. So without further ado, when you decide to advocate for yourself and not suffer in silence, it helps future situations for you and for other people. So for you, it shows you what you're made out of. It shows you what you're capable of, the amount of strength that you have, because you never know until you actually get into the situation. Have you ever heard that, this is going to sound terrible, but have you ever heard the phrase, you don't know if you're capable of killing somebody until they're right there in front of you? It's true. If you're in a situation where your back is against the wall, even the highest trained soldiers can freeze. You never know what type of response your body is going to have to the circumstances around you. It's called fight or flight. And I think they should add freeze to that, because sometimes you may fight back, you may run, or you may decide to fight back. Fight, flight. Yeah, I said that right. So it helps situations for you and also for others. So when I was younger, my mother always used to say, some situations that you go through, it's not about you, it's for somebody else. And I never understood that. I'm like, you're telling me that God is going to put me through a situation for somebody else? I don't have anything to do with them. But it made so much sense when I was in a difficult situation and I had someone to consult, because this person is like, oh yeah, I went through something similar. This is what happened to me. And so from a business perspective, looking at HR complaints, right? Or looking at Title IX complaints when it comes to education, looking at situations where you are fired unjustly and people are not giving proper documentation for you to be dismissed from your job, your program, whatever the case may be. So keep that in mind. It helps future situations for other people, and it helps future situations for you. Next, it builds self-esteem and self-respect. When you have to go out on a limb and constantly fight for yourself, advocate for yourself, you feel good. It feels good to be able to say, I finally stood up to this person. I finally stood up for myself. You know, even in domestic violence situations, when women and men are being trained on what to do and how to handle their abuser, standing up to them feels good. It gives them their sense of power back, and you need that power. You need that fuel in order to fuel your future projects and aspirations. Next, it makes others respect you. Now, that's one thing that's absolutely horrible in business, when people are not respected. You cannot be a successful business owner, operator, if people do not respect you. Why? Because you may have staff, you may have people that you work with who also contribute in some type of way to your success. And there's a lot of collaborative work when it comes to your projects, right? Because everybody needs a team. So essentially, I need the people around me to respect me. I need them to respect my decisions. I need them to respect the way I think. I need them to respect what comes out of my mouth, right? And respect me in my presence, and be able to speak highly of me when they are amongst one another. Okay, I need the respect to be there. Respect comes first, and then that's how you get the results that you want. So next, it reduces the chance that you will be tried like that again. It reduces the chance that somebody's going to come at you sideways when you stand up for yourself. And that's the best way I can put it. People see you and they feel like they can prod and pray against you because you don't say anything. So just imagine it like this. My mom used to say, watch how you treat your sister in front of people, because then they can think they can treat her like that. Now that's my little sister. I'm going to dog her out, talk junk to her, push her around, call her names, pull her hair, pull her shirt, so it can be stretched, do annoying things, because that's what siblings do, and I'm the oldest, so I'm the boss, right? However, the second any of my friends thought that they could bully my sister, we had a big problem. Not that one. This absolutely not. Right? So when they see that somebody else cares about you and will defend you, and that you care about yourself and will defend yourself, they are less likely to try you, because they're like, okay, if I go in that direction, I'll be sued. I'll be reprimanded. It's going to destroy my reputation. People are going to fight for this individual. A lot of the people who suffer, thinking about the field of social work, a lot of the people who suffer in the world in general are people who don't have anybody to advocate for them. They're the most exploited, right? When people look at sex trafficking, it's more common in areas where nobody's watching to see if you're okay. Mom's not home, dad's not home, right? You're alone, you're impoverished. So even if they raise concerns, who is going to advocate for this person? This is a nobody. Who's going to miss them? And that's how predators think. I'm sorry, it's hair. Okay. I'm like, oh. Whew, okay. Gotta be careful when you're in the outdoors. So, next, don't suffer in silence, because it's the right thing to do. You deserve to be respected. You deserve for someone to see you and salute you, respect your work, respect everything about you, just you as a person, right? And you earn that. You earn that with how hard you work. You earn that with the fact that you're alive and you're pushing and you're present. Don't allow anybody to take that from you. In addition to it, when you're suffering in silence, people around you cannot help if they don't know. And it goes back to that common saying, closed mouths don't get fed. If nobody knows what's wrong, if nobody knows you need money, they can't help you, right? If nobody knows that you're being beat on, they can't help you. If no one knows that you're being taken advantage of in business, they can't help you. If you haven't shared your contract with a colleague or a lawyer and said, hey, take a look at this. Let me know if this is just. Let me know if what they are paying me is fair for what I'm doing. Let me know if the language makes sense to you. To be completely honest with you, I review my own contracts. I don't even have to have a lawyer look over it. But because I'm so thorough, I say all the time, let me have my lawyer look at this. Because there's strength in numbers. And there's also strength in skill, right? If I'm like, oh, let me consult with my family first. They're like, okay, your family's going to review your professional contract and give you some advice, cool. But when you say, let me allow my lawyer to take a look at this, you might even get a different response. Oh, let me revise that first before you take it. I had a situation this past year where there was an older woman. She had reached out to me about having some of my products in her store. And this woman wanted to take 70% of the commission from my products, in order to have it in her store. It is my project, right? In order to have it in her store and give me 30%. And I also had to have the goods delivered to her. So when I spoke with her about the split, I'm like, this right here doesn't, at minimum, it should be 60-40. And I should be the one receiving the 60%, right? And so, needless to say, I did not do business with her, but I didn't have to have a lawyer to review that document for me. So that's another thing I'll say. Reading is fundamental. I know I talk a lot about reading different documents as far as self-help, making sure that you read articles, read books, listen to podcasts. That education is very important, but there are some things that you can know and be able to get in front of if you just simply read before you sign a paper. I had a friend buy me a ticket. Well, actually, someone I was dating bought me a ticket to a comedy show. And I didn't have anyone to go with me, so I asked one of my closest friends to go with me, and he said he would. I'm like, listen, I hate driving. We're going to Maryland, so I just want you to come with me. So he came. We get pulled over. I find out that this man didn't have a license. Now, I should have asked questions, but I'm assuming if I'm asking you to drive my vehicle, you already have a driver's license, right? So he did not have a driver's license. We get pulled over, and the state trooper is asking for his license and registration, didn't have one, and he also had him sign a paper that said that he would show up to court. Now, I'm reading this paper while he's, writing and all his information in, right? And part of the stanza said, make sure that this information is correct. I am signing that this information is true and accurate to the best of my ability, as far as his address and contact information, so that they will be able to mail that correspondence to him. So I read it. I just heard him say that that was not his address anymore, but on the paper he signed. So the officer asked him, is this your current address? He says no. And it says, okay, well, right here, you're supposed to sign if this is your address. So if it's not, you need to write your new address in this section. So it's a man that I'm dealing with. I did not step in and try to correct him while he was doing it, especially not in front of another man who was clearly not being supportive of his situation. But when we pulled off and I had to drive, woke up from my nap, I definitely said something. And I was just thinking in my head, like, how is this man going to advocate for himself when he goes to court if he doesn't even know not to sign a paper without reading it, especially from an officer? You don't trust the police, you don't like the police, you don't like the justice system, but you're signing documents and signing your life away, essentially. Because had they sent something else that you had to respond to, or had you forgotten your court date and you did not receive that correspondence, now you have a failure to appear, which means you have a warrant out for your arrest. Are you guys following? Advocate for yourself. Read. Don't suffer in silence. If you feel like you need some legal representation, there are some pro bono lawyers. I don't recommend it. I think that you should stack your money up, do whatever you can do, have GoFundMe set up, do something. Even if it's a criminal case, you can ask for help for that to be paid for. Do what you can, because you're all you have. All you have is you. All you have is your voice. And there's strength in numbers, so you can't allow yourself to fall by the wayside just because you didn't know. Because now you know. Love told you. All right? This is Love from Level Up Consulting Firm. If you all have any questions for me, please reach out to me. I know a little bit about the legal system, know a little bit about state laws. I am not a lawyer, so what I can do, even if I don't have the answer for you, I will definitely point you in the right direction. That's what a consultant is for. All right? Have a good one.